Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. To my left, we've got Max.
Hi Dan, hi everybody.
How are
How's it
you?
going?
Alright,
I
yeah.
am well. I am well, thank you. I am currently sat in a car park waiting for the boy to get back from his football match. So he may jump in the car bounding with joy and excitement after a great win over Tapton, or he might slump in after a terrible defeat. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, Matt might be breaking news. Max is on tour.
Yeah, yeah,
So Sheffield United away. How do you feel going into it?
you know what? For me, this is one of the biggest games of the season because I live in Sheffield. So I'm now at Meadowhead School, waiting for the boy. And yeah, I've lived in Sheffield for 30 years and, come down every weekend or every other week for Forest games. My parents and my brother still in Nottingham, but we're in the south side of Sheffield. So, all my Sheffield friends, the United supporters, all the people I play football with, five-a-side United supporters, all of the boys' teammates and parents, United supporters, and actually, throughout particularly what 90s, 2000s, Sheffield United were big rival, weren't they? We were a big rival in Championship for promotion, and we were both there and thereabouts in the playoffs and so on. And of course, as usual, we played attractive, nice football under Paul Hart and so on. So and Sheffield United played dirty, time wasting, over physical, complaining at the refs, kick and rush football under Warnock and with Paddy Kenny in goal and stuff like that. So in many ways, for me, it's often a bigger game than Derby. So it's also like just literally just down the road from my house. Um, but also I get to hear from Sheffield United fans what they think about the team and what they think about their prospects, and they're a bit up and down. They've had a good run under Heckingbottom, but he made I think 4 or 5 changes for the last league game, and they got turned over, didn't they?
Yeah.
Um, Played really poorly and got turned over. And Sheffield United fans, they're a funny lot. They'll get behind the team when they're winning, but if they're not playing well, they soon turn their backs on them, and they're a bit like, yeah, they're a miserable bunch. They're almost as bad as Middlesbrough fans for being miserable. You know what I mean? But they've got good players. They've had good players all season, but I think they've been managed badly the first half of the season. And Heckingbottom's come in, and I'm not quite sure yet whether he's a good manager and he's got them playing really well, or he's just anybody but the previous manager, who had them playing, possession, but not going forward, not committing men forward, not taking people on, and quite negative and quite boring, and also leaving 30-40 million pounds worth of talent on the bench. Um, so I think they've turned it around a bit. They got into the playoffs. They've dropped out again. Um, I think it's obviously a difficult game, but I don't think we should be scared of them. I think they'll always have players because they've still got Premier League players and Premier League money that could win a game could just win a game. And they're playing better football than they were. But I think we worry about us. We worry about us, don't we? And I think if we play like we did against Bristol, if we start like we did against Bristol City, and if we play like we did away against Blackburn, and not how we played away against Preston, then we'll win more than we lose, whoever we're playing. And I think we should go into it. But I think it'll be a great atmosphere. I think there'll be the shouts of scabs, and there'll be £10 notes and £20 notes waved at the Sheffield United fans in response. So I think it'll be a great atmosphere, and I think it's one where if we can get at them early and quiet the home fans down, hopefully by scoring a goal early, but even if not, just by like being on the front foot and putting them under some pressure early, they soon go quiet, Sheffield United fans. And then we've almost like half won the game. We're really looking forward to it, and really, really looking forward to it. Really good that Forest, we're getting to showcase our skills and our talents on telly quite a lot at the moment as well, which is really good. And I think it's also interesting that the fixtures, the way the fixtures are going. So obviously we play Huddersfield on Monday, and I think Sheffield United have got a league game quite quick after this one as well. Like they didn't have one midweek, and then they've got one quite soon after. So there's a bit of managing players a bit, haven't they? And a bit of managing fitness and managing injuries and things like that. And we're looking pretty good in that respect. Lewis is out, isn't he? And that's about it, really. Everybody else seems really fit, and Alex Myton coming back, like we talked about last time, and but key players aren't getting injured, are they? And it's Steve Cooper's got a bit of a luxury in that position. I think Sheffield United have got a few injuries to a couple of key players. My veg box man, who delivers veg to us every Tuesday night, was telling me that, I can't remember who it was, but they've got a couple of players that are out that I think make the team tick, and they're a bit worried about. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's like, we play Monday, then they play Tuesday, so obviously we will have to make a change anyway, regardless, with Lowe at left back being out, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, we'll have to make a change anyway, but the team news-wise will be interesting anyway, with us playing Monday. Do we go Swan Finney and not play Swan Monday, or not play Swan tomorrow, go Swan Monday, or just go Swan both of them?
Yeah. But you think Will Swan will play?
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think obviously we've got Keenan Davis and Surridge, and Surridge hasn't made a start yet, has he? So I wonder whether for one of those two games, Friday and Monday, whether Surridge will start and Keenan Davis start on the bench. I think for the left back situation it's a real shame the rule about loan players, isn't it? Because I really like the balance of Max Lowe and Jed Spence on either side. Like they're both really attacking fullbacks. I think Jed Spence has been out of this world. He's proper bums on seats. He's proper like you pay to go and watch Jed Spence in any team. He's every time we've been promoted, we've had a player that's can win a game on his own, haven't we? Whether it be Stan Collymore from Hooijdonk, perhaps going into League One. We had a few. We had Lewis and Chris Collins, and I think Jed Spence, Brennan Johnson are two of those, aren't they? And you just they're absolute stars. But I think if they were in the team, Max Lowe would be one, because he is a great wing back, and he's got pace. He's had some great assists. The goal for Brennan against Stoke was fabulous run and cross, absolutely perfect. And it's a shame he can't play against Sheffield United. I've been not a big fan of Jack Colback over the years. This season he's been brilliant under Steve Cooper, and I wasn't a big fan of him at all filling at left back, especially the first time he played left back. I thought it felt like it really unbalanced the team, and other players on actually the others in the midfield, I think just caused a bit of confusion as to who was picking up which runners from the other team. But actually, after that first game, every other game he's played in that left back position, I think he's been brilliant. He did so against Leicester, didn't he? And Saka, he kept Saka quiet, which is amazing. I think he's got better and better in that role. He's got better and better all season in whatever role he's played at Forest. So I'm not too concerned now about Jack Colback playing left back, left wing back. I think Ryan, the question would be like, what's the midfield look like? Normally, say again, sorry.
You probably can't see Graham Yates in there to a fair, or
yeah, I think so. I think Yates. I think does it then mean Zinchenko plays as well, who's tended to not play the away games, has he, and play more of the home games.
Yeah.
But I think it promises to be a really good game because I think both teams like to attack and like to use pace and like to get into the spaces and get behind. So neither team is going to sit back. So yeah, I think this makes a really exciting game.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah,
I mean, as you said, it's your own game there, no, funny enough, say you're a Forest fan, and there's always been that sort of rivalry between Forest and Sheffield United anyway over the years, like
definitely.
since them days. And it's, to say it the distance, it is that sort of derby that, not a derby, but it feels like a derby. Like,
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's as close as Norwich and Ipswich, isn't it? And it's as close as Middlesbrough and anybody that they want to be rivals with.
yeah,
We're all like 30, 40 miles away. So yeah, it's definitely I think it's a big rivalry, and perhaps even more so than like Sheffield Wednesday, just because we've been competing with Sheffield United quite a lot, often over the years. I mean, perhaps going back a few years now, to be fair, because I think it's is it 6 or 7 years since we've been in the playoffs
yeah,
or more. Was a few stats that were flying around. So yeah, it'll be it's a big game. It's a big game, and of course it's a even bigger game because of the position of the two teams in the table. Win for either, and I think we could be in the playoffs, or at least equal on points for the playoffs. A defeat for either, and it could be 6 points adrift, which with every game that passes, that starts to feel a bigger and bigger gap, doesn't it? I mean, I still think there's going to be plenty of twists and turns. I still think there'll be teams that rise and fall between now and then, now and the end of the season. And obviously, I was listening to who was it? One of the some of the players from the Billy Davis promotion, playoff era teams that talked about how they were flying all season, had a slump, and then we're just always safe in the playoffs. So they sort of went through the last like 5 or 6 games of the season, didn't really need to win. Funny old side was put out sometimes. They didn't want to get injured and went into the playoffs with just lost all momentum.
yeah,
So that's why they often talk about the side that's on that upward momentum and got in towards the end is often the team not always, but often the team that wins through. I'd love it for it to be us.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, and it's always that chasing pack to refer that the last 6, 7 games been around sits them, and they seem to go up. Look at Blackpool as well; they did it against us.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
it's completely well, just a lottery to refer nowadays. Like, I mean, we've never ever been lucky in the playoffs anyway with how we've been.
I know, I know. I mean, I'd hate them. They'd be horrible, but I'd always rather get first or second, obviously, and go straight up. So there's this thing that sometimes like other fans of other teams, some of the local and less successful neighbours throw at us that we're one of only 7 football league teams that have never played at the new Wembley. I'm like, well, that's because when we get promoted in automatic. We don't fanny around with the playoffs, do we? Do you know what I mean? And actually, if you've been in the playoffs, it's because you've had seasons where you've not finished in the top 2 in the division. Having said that, there has to be nothing better than for example, being a Queen's Park Rangers fan when Bobby Zamora pings one in the last seconds of a playoff final when you're down to 10 men and you've not had a shot on goal all season. And that would be incredible. That would be amazing. And if you could say to me, Max and Dan, you'll get to the playoffs, you'll get to the final, that's how it will end, then I'll take it all day long. But there is just that fear in there that we could dominate a game. Again, you could play against a team that we've beaten 3 times in the season so far, and going to the second leg of the playoffs, and they turn you over 5-3 at home. You know, which we've seen happen before. And you just don't know what's going to happen, do you? So yeah, it has that lottery, you know, that lottery angle to it. But I think second feels a bit too far off now. Now Bournemouth have started picking up results again. But you never know. You know, May the 5th, whenever it was, when we got promoted from League One, and we hadn't spent a second of the season in the top two, apart from on the last day of the season when we beat Yeovil and snuck in there. So yeah, you never know. You never know.
And the main thing is, a lot of the teams above us start playing each other. I mean, after when Sheffield United play us on, they got Middlesbrough on Tuesday, so they got to play.
Yes.
Quite a few of them got to play each other, which will already, in a way, if I start to pick up that momentum, it will already work in our favour.
Absolutely, and we're still on a great run. We're still, you know, we've dropped out of the playoffs because we had a game postponed and a couple of draws, but we're not dropped out because we've been on a bad run of defeats. Like, if our slump is a couple of draws before we go back to winning ways, then you know, we'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think score predictions will be?
I mean, I keep predicting high-scoring games when we meet, and it keeps being low-scoring. So I'm going to go 3-2 to Forest.
So, what's those scorers?
Goal scorers, I think we will be. I would like to see Keenan Davis get on the score sheet. I think he's been absolutely tremendous, and I think the fans recognise that the last home game. You know, I mean, everybody gets a standing ovation when they go off and we're winning, but his was particularly loud and very, very well deserved. And you know, I think you could have made a case for him to be man of the match in virtually every game that he's played. And it was a wonder save that the keeper made to keep out his header against Bristol, on Saturday, and that was right in front of us. We were right behind that Trent goal. So I think he deserves a game. His hold up play is brilliant. But also it is his strength and physicality holding the ball up and winning the ball in the air, but also making some bloody good runs and creating chances for other people and for himself. So I think Keenan Davis 2, Brennan Johnson 1.
Oh, nice.
And we'll be 3-1 up, and they'll just grab a late consolation, but it'll mean nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I take that over Sheffield United all day long.
Absolutely. And they'll be crying into their greasy chip butties all the way home.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you so much for coming on and giving
absolute pleasure. Nice to see you. Come on, you Reds.
Come on, you Reds. So I'd like to thank